Lake and
It's rough going in much of the Northeast this Friday night as a lot of folks, you're dealing with the first real snow of this season, and for so much more of the country, more real snow on the way, including maybe around Chicagoland. Good evening. Welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Paul Emick. Much of the interior section of the Northeast dealing with kind of a mixed bag of precipitation in the form of some snow, sleet, and rain. And for more on this storm, we go to Jeff Morrow. He's standing by in the Forecast Center with the absolute latest on all this mess. Jeff?
All right, Paul, it has been a mess in the Northeast ever since late last night and overspreading much of New England during the early morning hours. And even extending on into this evening, we still have some snow, some sleet, not a lot of freezing rain to talk about at this point, and most of the rain is actually gone as well. It's mostly just kind of a wintry mess. And case in point was Worcester, Massachusetts, and an icy mess here with a lot of sleet. You can see some people in the ditch there. Again, driving on sleet can be pretty hazardous, maybe not quite as bad as an ice storm or freezing rain, but hey, it can be bad nonetheless. And you ended up probably with several inches of sleet, and now it has changed over to a little bit of snow, and there might be a small snow accumulation there before it ends later on this evening. So again, Worcester right about in there, kind of on the edge of the 1 to 3 inch, and again most of that was sleet. And you can see how most of the precipitation, the snow out here in the Ohio Valley, was generally a 1 to 3 inch snow, a little bit more in parts of central Indiana, northwest Ohio. But where this storm really got cranking was on up across upstate New York, and anywhere from Buffalo, where they had 7, all the way over to Syracuse with 8, Rochester with 8, Glens Falls, New York had 11 inches, and that's just northeast of Albany, where they had 8 inches of snow. Now that officially was at the airport. Downtown, perhaps about 5 or 6 inches, and it's been kind of a fluffy snow, not that good snowball making snow, right, Mike?
That's right, Jeff. I was trying to make some snowballs earlier today, and even though we had a little bit of sleet and freezing rain, it's a pretty dry snow. Let me take you over here. We'll get some of the snow here that's on the other side of this ledge here on this road, and I'll pick it up. And yeah, it's not the best for snowballs. A little too powdery. Good for sledding, skiing, and slipping on the highways, and that brings up a good point tonight. The roads are in pretty poor shape. The snow is back with us, although as you mentioned, Jeff, before we got on the air, it doesn't look that impressive. It's kind of falling apart to our west. But the roads are very slippery. They're plowing them here in town, but out there in suburbia, they're snow-packed. You need to take it easy. Snow tires or front-wheel drive is the best way to go. If you've got ABS brakes, remember the best thing with those that kind of brake is not to pump them. And another safety tip we brought up earlier, if you've got some kind of heart condition, give someone else a chance to shovel the snow who's a bit younger. because shoveling snow is very intensive, very cardiovascular. You may not actually think that, but it can cause some problems. And also, don't forget that snow is a problem at the airports. We've had a lot of cancellations here in Albany and likely at some of the other airports, not so much LaGuardia, but some of the airports that feed into the airports in New York City. So tomorrow, if you're flying or trying to get a flight tomorrow, you may have a problem. We had a problem trying to get out tomorrow, and there will likely be some more delays this evening, maybe even in the morning. So check ahead your airline just to make sure your flight's on time. Jeff?
All right, all of those good pieces of advice. Okay, Mike, we'll be talking to you again in about a half an hour. That's Mike Seidel reporting live from Albany, New York, where he has been all day. Quickly, let's go to the satellite radar composite. We can pretty much see the back edge of the precipitation here moving through northeast Pennsylvania and central New York. Now, Mike, of course, being in Albany about right in here, he has mainly light snow to his west, but the heavier precipitation now appears to be more across southeast New England. And indeed, as this area of low pressure has now taken over, the winds funneling around that, it has pretty much changed most, if not all, of the precipitation to either sleet or snow. In fact, it has changed to snow at Hartford. Boston, you're getting a little bit of a let-up now, but it really had changed over to all snow there. Perhaps a little bit of sleet left over right down along the South Shore, but not much of any accumulation there. This here in New York, out over Long Island, is all rain, and fortunately it never did go to frozen precipitation there. Of course, Mike again is up here in Albany, and there's the light snow to his west, which will be moving over him over the next hour or two. All right, so that's the latest on our storm in the Northeast, slowly starting to wind down. If you want more information, definitely check us out on our website at weather.com. Right now, though, let's go back to the studio. Paul has a look at the rest of the nation's weather.
That's right, Jeff. The Northeast could see even more snow for the end of the weekend as a low sitting over the northern plains, and the upper Midwest has eyes on heading that way. That system dumped a lot of snow in Minnesota the past 24 hours. At daybreak, 4 inches of snow on the ground. The flurries fell most of the day today. Temps in the middle 30s, and you can expect tomorrow to be just a bit colder with the highs only in the upper 20s. So we're definitely going to see some very, very cold readings. Let's look at the upper Midwest and talk specifically about the happenings there. There you see that big area of low pressure. Think of it as a moisture magnet. A lot of wind blowing in there, too. Low pressure spinning around in a counterclockwise fashion has been kicking up the wind, too, where you see these lines kind of close together. That indicates where we're seeing a rapid pressure fall from high pressure, which is up here, to the low pressure as winds blow from high to low. So it has been quite windy, and it's built to stay that way, too. Want to see a bit of snow? Well, still, we're seeing it tonight around Minneapolis, St. Paul, and areas to the south, too. La Crosse, Wisconsin, kind of flaky at times. Even in parts of Des Moines, Iowa. We've been seeing snow off and on around town, and even toward Waterloo and Sioux City. Throughout the Dakotas, still some remaining snow and some wind to contend with as well. Detroit, not a bad deal right now for Detroit, but looks like more snow is on the way. You can even see it. So tonight in parts of Michigan, we're seeing it, but not all.